So one thing that immediately strikes me about you is your confidence. Like you look at you and you just radiate that. So is it something that comes naturally or something you've built over the years, or how has that come? Hi guys, welcome to Mental Fitness with Neha, the workout for your mind. Well, today on the show we have a very special guest, Miss Manni De Mishra, and she is a film and TV actress, a voiceover artist, trained in cognitive behavior therapy, a healer, and a champion for mental health. So, firstly, thank you for being here today on the show.
Pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure.
So, to start off, one of the main purposes of the show is to share stories of people who do what they love and how they found it. Because I feel that when you do what you love and you have a life which is driven for a purpose that's greater than yourself, it really helps you to stay happy and mentally fit. So I think you found that sense of mission through acting. So I wanted to understand, tell us a little bit about your journey. How did it start for you?
So I'm an accidental actress. I was never fascinated. I mean, I never intended to be an actor. Firstly, I'm not one of those people who say, "मैं तो बचपन से," with due respect, मेरा ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. My mother was a bureaucrat. My father was a businessman. And I wanted to, since I was a child, I used to tell my brother that I'm going to be a CEO of a company. I didn't even know what it meant. So I always wanted a leadership role. That much I was very clear about. And I wanted to, and I had this, imaginary private secretary called Sharmaji. God knows why he was Sharmaji. And I would give him orders. So it was crazy. So obviously this craziness ka kida was there, right? When I was in the 7th standard, I fell in love with history and I wanted to be an archaeologist. And I wanted my father to send me abroad, and he said at that point in time, the scope for archaeology was as good as not being there. Then I fell in love with literature, and I wanted to teach literature after pursuing my master's and my doctorate and all of that. So there was absolutely no known intention of me wanting to be an actor. So I have now realized that, the cosmos has a bigger plan for you, and you need to also trust. I'm not saying don't have any plan and just be like a vagabond, but I'm saying a lot of things have to be left to chance, because things are not in our hands, outcomes are not in our hands. Okay. So to cut a long story short, somebody saw me in one of the boutiques that we owned, and he had come for a sponsorship, and he looked at me and he said, "Why don't you take part in something known as the Face of 93? So I took part in that, and I became the Face of 93. And then through that, I met Sushmita Sen, who became a dear friend. And she forcibly, literally handheld me and forced me to go fill my form for Miss India 1994. And I was, out of 3 lakh girls, I was one of the 11 girls chosen out of North India.
Wow.
So it was a huge honor. But for somebody like me, who was more like a tomboy, which I still am, it was like, oh, I've never been to Goa, so it was a big thing for me. And I go there and my life changes. I come back with 2 crowns of sub-contest, Miss Congeniality and Miss Radio Personality of the Year.
Yeah.
So it was a turning point of my life. It was a turning point. I started modeling. I started hosting. I never wanted to be an actor. But as destiny would have it, I think that's how it was. And thus my story started in this city.
I love that. I love that how you said that you were a tomboy who got into Miss India, and I think that just shows how your identity is just like it's self-defined, and if you want to do something, you can just go out there and do it. So I think that's a live example of what just happened. Yeah. So coming to your journey as an actress, as an actor, sorry. Yeah. So this industry is obviously one where you need to be made of a lot of metal. Like you can't you need to be strong. So what kind of obstacles did you face? Did you ever have any thoughts like, am I good enough, or any think of like judgment and so did that happen, and what helped you get through it?
Yeah. I'll tell you something. I look like this super confident, super sassy, super like dope woman, but inside I'm this little girl who's so fraught with self-doubt. Am I good looking enough? Am I good enough? Are my brain sharp enough? Am I saying the right thing? Till today, Neha, I've been in the industry for 20 years. Even now, when I go for a meeting or when I start a new show or a new film or a new project, every day on set is like a new day at school. I'm like a kindergarten student. where till the time spirituality had not touched my life, there were times when I felt like shit. I'm sorry for using the word. I felt like I am the worst. Okay, I don't know anything. I look like shit, whatever. But then by and by, I started learning. And very gradually did I learn this. But trust me, when I learned it was a very empowering thought. Okay. It was very empowering. Like when, as an actor, people will judge you, people, and especially in the times of Instagram and Facebook, everybody has an opinion. I'm sorry, but every second person has an opinion, right?
Yeah. It's true.
And
Yeah.
earlier I would get disturbed, but honestly speaking, I have a very interesting delete system now. I don't really give a shit. If you're not important enough, yes, I will take feedback from you. But if you're being wicked and if you're being evil with me just so as to satisfy your egoic needs, I'm sorry, you can get lost. I don't really care. So now I've learned to have filters. Okay.
Okay.
Also, spirituality, meditation, going through a lot in my life, a lot of turbulence. I don't really think it should be called turbulence. I think it should be called the lessons that my soul needed to learn. I've tempered down a lot. So now nobody can take this confidence away from me. I know who I am. I am in my power. I stand in my power, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
Coming to your confidence, I was actually going to just bring that up. So one thing that immediately strikes me about you is your confidence. Like you look at you and you just radiate that. So is it something that comes naturally or something you've built over the years, or how has that come?
Fake it till you make it, baby. Fake it till you make it. Totally
Okay.
fake it. I could be dying of anxiety when I enter a room, but something happens when I see people. Okay, so people bring the best and the worst out of you.
So a tip to some 18-year-old who's starting off now in terms of confidence is just own it and fake it till you make it. So
fake it till you
like,
make it, firstly. Secondly, I observe people very, very keenly. Okay.
mhm.
I watch a lot of people who are on TED Talk. I watch a lot of inspirational videos. I listen to people, who talk about life, who talk about experiences, who talk about the dark night of the soul phases that they've been through. And they're my real heroes. Success is a very, very, what do you say, is a very temporary friend. Failure is something that teaches you the most. Remember that in life. Success is like, okay, so I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, but success is like a mistress. Okay. It will come, or it's like a girlfriend. Fleetingly, she'll come, touch your life and go away. But failure is like a relative which is going to sit in your face and say, okay, you know what? You need to learn from this. I'm going to sit right in front of you. And if you don't learn from it, I'm going to come back to you again. So I'm thankful for all my failures. Had it not come to me, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
That's
And
a very
another thing I want to say, this whole definition of success and failure when you guys grow up more is a very three-dimensional thing. The way we measure success or we measure fame is very stupid. I don't understand it. Fame or success is transient and temporary first. Secondly, it does not belong to you. It is rented out to you. Do not take your name, fame, money very seriously, because tomorrow it will belong to somebody else.
Interesting. The definition of success basically is very fleeting. I really like that.
It's very fleeting. It's very fleeting. It's when you feel a sense of fulfillment and when you are able to add value to somebody's life. To me, that is success.
So you spoke about listening to a lot of podcasts and motivational talk and all of that. So you keep your mindset very, very primed. I think you could say you have a practice of priming your mental self, right?
Yes,
so is that practice something that is a big part of who you are and contributes to all your, like it fuels you? Is that something which is?
It's an everyday thing. So I practice something known as transcendental meditation, which has really helped me to center and ground myself. Okay. And I genuinely feel that meditation should be taught in all schools and educational institutions because it is something that is most required in this really chaotic world. And meditation is not about levitating. It is about just being in the moment, which it took me years to understand what that was. I never understood. Either I was living in my past or I was living in the future. And the day I realized that this is the only moment I have, I do not have any control, it grounded me. So these are practices that when I listen to something, I'm making mental notes. I'm understanding. I rewind till I don't understand it. I study with Sadhguru, as in I study at the Isha Foundation. And the one thing that I learned there was you have to unlearn everything that has been indoctrinated in you by others and their perceptions.
So another thing that really, inspires me about you is the fact that you've reinvented yourself constantly. You started with films like Krish and all of that, and now you're a voiceover artist for Disney. So what's your secret? Like, what fuels you? What keeps you going? I'm really keen to know.
I'm very ambitious. I am terribly ambitious, and I'm very proud of it. I'm result oriented also, I don't like excuses. So I have set the bar very high for myself, Neha. Very high for myself, not for others, but for myself. I want to do everything in this one lifetime. So for me, what fuels me is this need to better myself every day. So yeah, what fuels me is what more is there within me that I can offer to the world? Because I have lots of gifts and I know it. So I'm not going to, go away with this music within me. My song will be heard, and it's my fight song. It will be heard. It will be heard.
Wow. Okay, I love that. Okay. Okay, so another thing which you spoke about is so your life is an example of turning obstacles into opportunities. So,
Yes.
it's very easy to get into this victim mindset and, assign blame and just, sit. But there's also another aspect where you just take responsibility for your life, like you've done, and turn obstacles into opportunities. So, how do you, what's the story you tell yourself? How do you come out of a low place and turn these obstacles into opportunities?
It's my spirit. I can't help it, Neha. That's how I've been made. I'll cry for a day and then I get up. I get very bored of crying and all that. Like I go off to sleep. I get very bored of crying. So I always tell myself, get up. Get up. You can do this. You can do anything that you want. I know you're getting scared. So there's a lot of self-talk that I do, which I want to tell all you kids. Please do it. It's very important. I have the most intense, amazing conversations with myself where I compliment myself. I look in the mirror and I'm like, किसी को हक नहीं है इतना हसीन होने का. I may not believe it, but I say it to myself and I'm like, shut up. And the other side, I'm like, shut up, just listen to this. So please do healthy self-talk. It's very important. We're so nice to others, but we are so terrible with ourselves. So that is one thing. ये victim mentality है. मैं झूठ नहीं बोलूंगी तुमसे कि, oh, I have never gone into it. No, that's bullshit. I'm human. Of course I go into it. But then I realize that, it's taking me down. It's kind of eating into my energy resources. And I'm not ready to do that. I have way too many things to achieve, babe. As I said, I'm too driven and I'm too ambitious. And I'm here for a purpose. My main aim is that I need to touch this world or add value to this world. So when I go, I would have possibly touched certain lives and made a small difference, even if it was in one life.
I think that self-talk bit is something which is going to help a lot of the
Please
people who see this. Like at the end of the day, it's you,
versus you.
It's you who's there for you, and you need to tell yourself.
Yeah. So learn
also versus you.
Yeah. Please learn to listen to yourself, compliment yourself, abuse yourself, but know that there is nobody who will love you more than yourself. And self-love, which I think half a lifetime I've taken to learn. I'm learning it very gradually. But it's a very beautiful place. When you look at yourself, you're like, you're quite nice, huh? It's a little bit of nakra and natak should be.
I love that. Okay. Now we're coming to a special segment of the show called The Happy Place. So I think each of us have, either a ritual, a person, something we do, or maybe even it's quite literally a place where we go to when we're at an emotional low. Like it's something that just lights us up. So what lights you up? What is your happy place?
Animals. I love animals. I love children. Oh. So you show me animals and children, I'm any which way, I'm in a good place. You make me dance. I love dancing. I love spending time with my daughter and, bantering around with her. I love, hanging with my friends. But I think most important, I am the happiest when I'm with animals and children.
So coming to the last question, that what's one mental fitness truth that you live by? So, imagine if it's one, all your life experiences till today have taught you something, and it's one absolute truth, a quote, a thought that you live by it, and maybe something you wish someone would have told you when you were 18. So what would that be?
I wish somebody would have told me that you're amazing, just believe in yourself. I really wish somebody had told me that have more faith in yourself. You're worth it. Okay? And understanding that each one of us has a different path. आपकी जो skill set है वो मेरे पास नहीं है, लेकिन जो मेरे पास है वो आपके पास भी नहीं है ना. So I have to understand my unique gifts and not feel shy about it. Without an egoic touch to it, to understand your magnificence is very, very, very important.
Okay, wow, that's an amazing mental fitness truth to live by. I think everyone's going to really benefit from that. We've got a lot of valuable insights from this, from the conversation I've had today. And I would just once again like to really say thank you for coming and being on the show. And I think it'll really add value to all the viewers who see this.
Thank you so much.
So,
it's a pleasure.
yeah.
And before I leave, I just want to say one thing. Let nobody tell you who you are. Let them first find out who they are. Okay? That's not their job to find out who you are. It is your job to find out who you are. And you bloody well figure out who you are. Take your time, but don't let anybody define you, put you in any boxes, tell you you're not good enough, because they still don't know who they are. So I don't give them the bandwidth to tell me who I am.
I love that. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So on that note,
Yeah.
I'm going to say thank you. And I'm going to say, I really hope from the bottom of my heart that this episode is going to truly touch lives and help make a small change, if nothing else.
I hope so too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, my
Yeah.
darling.